You can format a super high quality print book on Microsoft Word. Guys, I'm Marlene and welcome back to my channel. Just a reminder that my debut novel To Wear a Crown will be releasing in the second quarter of 2022, and it is actually with this novel that I learned how to format a paperback book on Microsoft Word. Yes, it can be frustrating, it can take long, but for me it was free because I already had Word and I had complete control over the process. I knew exactly what my book was going to look like and I could design each aspect by myself. So today I'm going to be showing you how to format your book using Microsoft Word. So without further ado, let me show you my screen. Okay, so I've just opened an old WIP that I'm not going to be working on for the moment. It's on the back burner. So the first thing that I would do to format this for publication is to go to the page layout and then page size and more paper sizes. So this would be where you choose what your trim size is going to be. So there are certain standard trim sizes. You have 6x9, 5.5 by 8.5, and then what I chose is 5 by 8, and it came out pretty good. So the width would then be 5 inches and the height would be 8 inches. Okay, so now this is the size that your pages is going to be, but obviously you don't want your pages to look like this. So what you're going to have to adjust is your margins. So that you're going to do also under the layout tab, margins, and you're going to go custom margins. Now these are just the margins that I use. They work quite well, but you are welcome to experiment and see what works for you. So I'm working in centimeters. So top I'm going to do 2, bottom 1.8, and then what's important is to say mirror margins, because that's what happens when you print a book. You have mirror margins because the glue for the book is here, so each side needs to mirror the other. So you'll see that then changes to inside and outside margins. So for inside I did 1.7. Inside will have to be a big margin because you don't want the writing to flow into where the pages are glued together so that they can't be read. And then outside I make 1 and no gutter. Okay, so that looks a little better, but it's still not completely what we want. So for your text, your normal chapter text, you're going to go to your normal and modify that. So Garamond is a good one to use for the chapters of your books, and I use 11. I'm going to go to paragraphs. You want a first line indent. I used 0.4 and it looked quite good. I said don't add a space between paragraphs of the same style, and the line spacing I made 1.15. There you go, and that already looks a lot more like a book. So now if you want to put in a title page, something like this, then you can choose your font. I like using Centaur, and you can send that to the middle of the page. And then what's important is going to be using sections, because obviously we don't want a number, page number, at the bottom of our title page. So what we're going to do is, after this, I put in a page break here. So let me just remove that quickly. So I'm going to say layout, breaks, section breaks, next page. Then that is a new section. So then I'm going to go to the footer, and the first thing you're going to have to do is say ensure that it is not linked
Obviously this can't be linked to a previous because there is no previous, but that it is not linked to previous, that is very important. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Okay. Now I don't know why I decided to put this on the next page, but it suits it pretty well because you probably want this page to be blank in any event, because remember, this is going to be a page that's on the right hand side of the book. As you can see, the margins in this side, the margins on this side is bigger, which means that this is where the book spine will be. So we're on the right hand side, left hand side, and then it's pretty standard to have your first chapter start on the left hand side. Okay, so now we can see that over here, section 2 footer now also has none, because you see it says same as previous. So you're not going to link it to previous, and you're going to go to page number, bottom of page, and then what I like to use is just a plain number in the middle, but now it starts at 3. So you're going to go page number, format page numbers. Okay, let me just select that. So you're going to go page number, format page numbers, start at 1. There you go. There you have it. And now what I want to do with these, and I'll show you in a minute why, is for the headers, I want it to be different odd and even pages for this section. Okay, so now you obviously want your heading to look a bit more fancy, or some kind of chapter heading. So you're going to go to your heading, kind of modify. Once again, I like to use Centaur, and I like to go quite big. So let's do that. And then I like to add quite a lot of space. The before space can be very small or even nothing. I like to add quite a lot of space after, because I think that just looks better to me. Font, there we go. So that's then what your heading will look like. But then what I like to do is add a little graphic. So I will go insert pictures, picture from this device, and then this is something that I just downloaded from Canva. And now let's see how big we want to make it. We'll wrap it tight just so that it's easier to move. And we'll put it over there. Let's just remove all this extra spacing. Maybe we want to make that a bit bigger. Okay, so let's say for example you want that. That's not a very pretty graphic, but let's say that you want your chapter, your first chapter heading to look like that. You could also use, for example, flowers, or any graphic that works with your book. If you don't want to do a graphic at all, you just delete, and you can bold this and just leave it like that. Now, it is customary that for the first sentence of a chapter there is no indent. So you're just going to do that, and then what you can do is there are two, let me just turn that off, there are two different things that you can do with this first line. You could either put in a drop cap of the first letter, so you'll just say in the search drop, add a drop cap, and that's what it'll look like. You can adjust it. Okay. Then you can also just do a capitalization of the first sentence. You could also combine them if you want to, so it's all up to whatever your style is. So there you go. And now where the first page of a chapter ends, you're going to go to layout and you got to put in a next page section break. That's very important because you want these sections, these headers to be different. So you're definitely going to unlink it from the previous. Okay, because a chapter page does not have a heading, but these do. So now you're going to think, if you see that the book is glued over here, you want the header to be over there. So we're going to go over there and we're going to say the book's name will be, okay, now let's put in the author name here. Okay, and then we put in the, just make sure that that isn't indented, and we put the name of the book over here. Okay, and now you see this sections, we're not going to link it to the previous. This is page 1, so this has to start from page 2. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then here you're gonna obviously put in another section break. And then you can do the same thing here. Delete this. Okay. And then we can see what it looks like. See, so that's the basic idea of what your book is now going to look like. But obviously here you might have something like a copyright page and a dedication and things like that, and each time you just have to keep in mind which side of the page it's on, and then to put in a separate section, delink it from the others, and remove the page number and header. And then this is what you just do throughout. I have to warn you that the Word can decide that it thinks it knows what you want to do when it doesn't necessarily, or you don't really want to do that. So it can be a frustrating process. You might have to do some stuff over and over again to kind of get it right, but it does look pretty good. But this is just very basic. I want to show you what To Wear a Crown's formatting looks like. So this is the To Wear a Crown funnel. So I have the cover page, title page, my copyright page. I have 2 blank pages. So we have a right hand page, left hand page, and then this is right hand page with my I don't know, can't remember what you call this, not dedication, but that thing, epigraph. And then this is chapter 1, so I used a graphic here. Chapter 1, I'm just going to zoom in a bit. There we go. And yeah, so that's what To Wear a Crown looks like. Yeah. And I did all of this in Word, all of it by myself, all of it free, and it turned out great. I can actually show you when I'm back on the screen the physical proof copy and what that looks like. So yeah, you're getting a sneak peek at what To Wear a Crown looks like.
So yeah, that is how I formatted To Wear a Crown in Word. Those are the basics for how to format, and you can play around with it, use whichever images or fonts or whatever you think will work best. Just be sure to look at what is standard practice for novels so that it's actually readable and that it fits in with the standard. So yeah, I hope that you found this video useful. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe and ring that little bell to get notification every time I upload a new video. As always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. All the links are listed below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!